You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. 'Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to the Same Old Dolphin Show, sponsored by BetUS, part of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network. I'm Josh Katzker, and this is a very special episode of the Same Old Dolphin Show because I am recording this on the evening of Thanksgiving. I have just spent the entire day with friends and family stuffing my face. I mean, I have had so much turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and corn and dinner rolls and gravy and pumpkin pie and apple pie and chocolate brownies and every gimmick that you can name for Thanksgiving. I have had it today. I have really gone to the extreme when it comes to food. So I am just like, the fact that I'm summoning the energy to record this intro to today's episode is amazing to me because it's been an amazing day. But on top of all the food, I've spent the day being very grateful to be with people that I love very dearly, and I hope that all of you have had that opportunity as well. And even if you didn't have the opportunity to spend the day with people who were close to you, I hope that you were able to spend the day just reflecting on the wonderful things that you do have in your life and that you were able to, make the most of the situation. And if you are not celebrating Thanksgiving too, because I know we have a number of international listeners and viewers, I hope you had a wonderful Thursday. And Friday is upon us, and soon enough it will be Miami Dolphins game day yet again. And in this episode, because of the Thanksgiving schedule, Brain and I couldn't coordinate a time to get together to record another episode together or to do another live show. So I'm just doing the intro, and then in a moment you're going to hear from the Brain, and he's going to preview the Carolina game for you a little bit. But first, a quick reminder to everybody out there to make sure that you are following the show on social media. On Twitter, the show is at Same Old Dolphins. I am at Amplified to Rock. Aaron is at Aaron the Brain. You can follow Dolphins Talk at Dolphins Talk. Make sure you're visiting DolphinsTalk.com each and every day. It's your one-stop shop for all things Miami Dolphins. Even in the busy holiday season, we're still going to have a lot of great content and podcasts up there for you at the website. So make sure that you're visiting the website every single day. Download, rate, review, and subscribe to the Same Old Dolphin Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere that you can get your podcasts. We appreciate it. We would also appreciate it. It's the Thanksgiving season, so we'd be very thankful if you would leave us a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts. That goes a long way to helping us out. And, of course, you got to check out our great sponsors as well. Manscaped, head to manscaped.com, use the promo code DolphinsTalk, and save 20% off of your order. Get free shipping on the best men's below-the-waist grooming items in the world. Incredible stuff. And even if you're not into the below-the-belt grooming stuff, they've got the nose and ear hair clippers, which is pretty amazing, the Weed Whacker. They've also got this incredible 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, and a really great body wash, and the refined cologne. So really good smelling stuff over there at manscaped.com. So I encourage you to try it out and use the promo code DolphinsTalk. You'll save 20% off of your order, like I mentioned, and you get free shipping. Plus, it helps the show out a little bit as well. So we hope that you will do that, and we thank our good friends at Manscaped for sponsoring the Same Old Dolphin Show, and of course, our friends at BetUS as well. Listen, sports gambling is quickly becoming legalized around the country, and you need to find the best place to do it, and we strongly recommend you check out BetUS. They got everything, NBA, NHL, NFL, UFC, PGA, golf. I mean, they got it. They got it all over there. So head over to BetUS.com DolphinsTalk.com. Use the sign-up code DolphinsTalk, and you'll get a 125% sign-up bonus, which is a really great thing. Especially, listen, you're going to drop some bets on sporting events. Why not have a little bit of extra free cash as well? You might as well do it over there at BetUS. So, like I said, in just a moment, you're going to hear from the Brain as he previews the game. But here's what I want to say about it, because I know that there are a lot of Dolphin fans out there who are really of the belief that this Dolphin team is not out of the playoff picture yet. And logistically, mathematically, that's correct. But this game right here is a very tough test. Probably the toughest test remaining on the schedule before those final 3 games against the Titans, or the Saints, Titans, and Patriots, right? Those are going to be 3 tough games down the stretch, but the hope is that the Dolphins can get to 7-7. Well, this is going to be a tough one. Yes, it's a home game, but it's against a mobile quarterback in Cam Newton that the Dolphins have had trouble with before, and they've got an incredible weapon by the name of Christian McCaffrey, who is going to give the Dolphins all that they can handle, and the Dolphins are going to have a heck of a time trying to slow those 2 guys down, and that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key, is slowing down Cam Newton, running the ball, and also Christian McCaffrey. You got to make Cam Newton beat you by throwing it to those other wide receivers on that team. If you can do that, you're in with a shot. And then the offense can hopefully figure out a way to get past a tough Carolina defense. But that's the thing. This is essentially the playoff game, right? Everybody's dream is that the Dolphins can get to 7-7 for that Monday night game against the Saints. But in order to do that, you first have to get through the Carolina Panthers before you then also have to get through the Giants and the Jets. But I think there's less of a concern about those 2 games. This is the big one. This is the trip hazard, if you will. So it's a very, very big game for the Dolphins, a very meaningful game for the Dolphins. If you're one of those people that is really beating the drum and believes that this team is capable of putting it all together and making that run towards the playoffs. And as I said towards the end of the last episode, if they can do it, if they can get past Carolina and find a way to grind out a win on Sunday and then beat the Giants and beat the Jets, I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. It's the National Football League. But you got to win those games first. And this one against Carolina, I think, is one that is going to be particularly tough. But I'm excited about it. I hope that you're all excited about it. And I am looking forward to cheering on our Dolphins in what is really one of the biggest games that we've had in quite a few weeks. Now that they've strung a few wins together, this is a big opportunity for the Dolphins to take another big scalp. It all started with that Baltimore game where it was a little bit of a surprise. You didn't expect the Dolphins to win that game against Baltimore, especially in the way that they did it. And if they can do that again and kind of shock the world, and I know that this is not some Carolina team that is setting the world on fire, but it's a Carolina team that presents a lot of problems, at least on its face, when you look at the matchup on paper. Of course, the games aren't played on paper. They're played on the football field. And so the Dolphins are going to have an opportunity to go out there and win it. I'm going to make a prediction for this one, and you're going to hear that prediction after you hear from the Brain. So here is Aaron. Here's what he has to say, and I will see you on the other side.
What is up, Dolphin fans, and happy Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving weekend. I'm recording this on Thanksgiving morning, so the smell of potatoes au gratin and caramelized onions is in the air. There's some pies that were baked last night, and my mouth is watering, but you're probably listening to this the day after Thanksgiving or the Saturday or Sunday after Thanksgiving. So I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving meal. I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend and are excited for what should be a pretty good matchup this Sunday for the Miami Dolphins coming back home for the holidays. 3 consecutive home games with a bye week in there too. So the Dolphins don't even have a road game until after Christmas. So it's a month at home. for a Dolphins team that's won 3 games in a row, is starting to feel pretty good about itself. But this is a tough test here because this feels like a must-win game. Obviously, every game's a must-win from this point on for the Dolphins if they have any aspirations of making the playoffs. But it also feels like a must-win game for the Carolina Panthers, who come in at 5-6 in a very competitive NFC, coming off of a really bad loss to the Redskins. But as bad as the loss was, they're somehow still feeling better about themselves, I feel like, coming out of that game than they were going into it because of the play of Cam Newton, who has returned to Carolina and played at a really high level last week. That said, Carolina's strength this season has been on the defensive side of the ball, and that's where they faltered last week against Washington. So it's going to be interesting to see if Carolina can kind of figure it out, because they got Cam Newton playing at a higher level than Sam Darnold has all year. They've got Christian McCaffrey back and healthy. As a whole, the team is very healthy, but then they had a really bad loss to a team that they should have beaten last week. So it feels like you're going to get Carolina's best shot in this one. And Miami is going to have to play lights out because, yes, we did have a nice win a couple weeks ago against a good Baltimore Ravens team. But even in that game, as good as the defense played, it kind of felt like it was just one of those days where we caught the Ravens, just kind of sleepwalking or just not on their A game. Weird things happen on Thursday night, I guess. And we were able to take advantage for the victory. Other than that, the 2 other games in this winning streak against 2 of just the absolute most dreadful teams in the league, the Texans and the Jets. And that's not to discredit Miami for winning those games, because at the end of the day, you've got to win those games. And had Miami taken care of business against other inferior opponents earlier in the season, they'd be in much better shape to make the playoffs. But they've kind of used their margin for error at this point, and now it's just every game's a playoff game from here on out. And this one should be a tougher test than the one last week for sure. So I think Miami, I think it's a balanced matchup, because I don't think the Carolina is, I think Carolina right now, based on the way that the 2 teams have played this season, I think Carolina is the stronger football team. I think the defense has been more consistent. And I think the offense has more explosive ability, particularly because now that you have Cam Newton there, and he looked spry as ever, rushing for 60 yards last week. Between him and Christian McCaffrey, and you got some weapons on the outside, I do think that Carolina is the better overall team. But that said, Miami's the hotter team. Miami's defense is finally coming into their own. I don't think the defense played a particularly strong game last week against the Jets, though. I think they got bailed out by a couple of missed field goals, forced a key turnover that, it felt like the Jets left at least 9 points on the board last week in that game. But that said, the Dolphins defense does excel at getting to the quarterback. They lead the league in quarterback hits, and they excel at when they're playing at their best, they have a knack for turning the ball over. Where I think this game needs to be won for the Dolphins, aside from obviously, turnovers, because that's probably going to be the deciding factor. I think third down conversions, because I think that's where the Dolphins defense has really made their biggest improvement over the past few weeks, is that earlier in the season, they just couldn't get off the field on third downs, and they've done a much better job over the last 3 weeks. And that has, obviously, if you can get off the field on third downs, you're not giving up the long drives. You're getting off the field faster, keeps you more fresh, and you're not giving up points, which is really the point of the whole thing. So as long as the Dolphins defense can continue doing that, then I think that they can have some success against a Panthers team that struggled on third downs last week. In spite of putting up some good points and some good numbers, they were just 3 of 12 on third downs last week, and that's where I think they lost that game to the Redskins. So I think that's a key point here, or a key to the game, is going to be third down conversions, obviously turnovers. But for the Dolphins, I think the biggest test in this game, as far as from their defense against the Panthers offense, is really going to be stopping the run. Christian McCaffrey, now that you've got Cam Newton and you have to account for Cam Newton, it makes Christian McCaffrey so much more dangerous on the edges. And it's really going to test Miami's gap discipline. It's really going to test these linebackers. And I think it's going to be a challenge for them. I think Miami is going to need to just not give up big plays, make Carolina have to grind out long drives, because it's going to be difficult for Carolina if they, if they're going to struggle on third downs. Make them have as many third downs as possible, so you give yourself that many opportunities. So just stop the run on first down, get them into some bad down and distance, and set yourself up to put Carolina in some rough third down spots. And that's where I think Miami can have some success. They can get after Cam Newton a little bit. Going to be hard to bring him down, but if you get to him a little bit, force him to speed things up, I think there's some opportunities to create some turnovers for sure there. When Miami has the ball, this is a huge test for Tua. Obviously, Tua has been playing better as of late. He's certainly trending upwards. Most people will say that last week was one of his best games as a pro. I think he still needs to clean up the little mistakes. It seems like there's I shouldn't say little mistakes. I should say big mistakes, because it seems like there's one big mistake in every game that he started, either a really bad interception or a costly turnover with a fumble, like we saw against Baltimore. And it's a trend that he really needs to get under control, because other than that, he's been remarkably efficient. I still don't think that he's doing anything that's, wowing anybody. The deep throw that, looks so good in college, we haven't really seen that. His downfield pass to Mac Hollins for his longest touchdown in his career last week was nice to see, but it's not like it was, anything spectacular. It was a wide open guy. He didn't need to hit him in stride or anything. That said, he got the ball there and it was a touchdown. So we did see a couple of downfield plays last week from Tua, but we haven't seen him play with that kind of consistency, particularly against good defenses. And we saw him struggle against the Bills. Not in the first game against the Bills, because that one doesn't really count. He was knocked out so early in that game. But in the last game against the Bills, we saw him struggle. And the bad news here is that the Panthers, the Bills are leading the league in lowest yards allowed per pass attempt. Well, the Carolina Panthers are second in that category. So this is a huge test for Tua, because I don't think we have any faith that we're going to run the ball consistently. That said, I think it's important for the Dolphins to keep Carolina honest. Obviously every week there's going to be a concern about, can we protect Tua? And the big way that you can do it is by keeping defenses honest with the run game. The Panthers are good at getting after the quarterback, particularly on the edge. So I think this is a particularly tough matchup for Miami's weak starting tackles. So getting the ball out quick, screens and draws, misdirection. And, I'd love to see them get Tua out of the pocket a little bit, but it feels like, you're this far into the season. We're 11 games into the season, and we really haven't seen it. It kind of feels like it's just not in the playbook for these guys. So I don't expect to see some great departure from the playbook. It's just going to come down to execution and not making the big mistake. And again, because the Dolphins don't typically make big plays, just as it's important on the other side of the ball to stop the opposing offense from converting on third down, the Dolphins need to convert on third down because it takes 10 to 15 plays for them to get the ball in the end zone. And I think that's what this game is going to come down to. I think these teams are going to have some success moving the ball at times, and then I think sometimes it's going to be ugly. I certainly think the defenses for both of these teams are the stronger sides of the football, and so that predicts a low-scoring game. And with an over-under of just 42 points, it is the second lowest under of the week. So I think, Vegas is expecting a low-scoring game. I expect a low-scoring game. It's going to come down to turnovers, third downs, who can score touchdowns, who's kicking field goals. I feel like things are moving in the right direction for the Dolphins. They're definitely trending upward. But the Panthers feel like the better overall team, and it feels like a must-win game for them. This is a prove-me game for the Dolphins. I can certainly see them continuing this run and getting to 7-7 and making things interesting. But I'm not quite there yet. I need to see this team win another tough game. The Baltimore game obviously showed something, but I want to see us beat a team that's on our level in a must-win game, a highly motivated game. I don't think that, obviously I don't think the Panthers are overlooking the Dolphins, and I'm not saying that the Ravens necessarily overlooked the Dolphins, but they might have. But whatever the reason was, the Ravens were not sharp in that game. I expect a better performance, a tougher performance from the Panthers, and I think we're going to see an ugly one. And I think the Panthers are going to do enough to pull this one out. I think the Panthers win this game 19-16, maybe even an overtime game. I think we're looking at a very tight, low-scoring affair. I've got the Panthers pulling this one out by a field goal. But that's my pick. That's my breakdown. I'm ready to get myself ready to just be face deep in some side dishes and some pies. I'm probably going to try a slice of turkey because, look, if somebody's going to cook turkey, and don't mind my dryer buzzing, but if somebody's going to go the length to cook a turkey for 6 to 8 hours and everything that goes into that, the least you can do is have a slice with some gravy. But that's about it. A slice and some gravy, or maybe a drumstick and some gravy. And then after that, it's sides all day, baby. Sides and pies. So happy Thanksgiving and holiday season to you all. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and are continuing to have a great Thanksgiving Day weekend and a great start to your holiday season. Go Dolphins.
All right. So that's what Aaron thinks is going to happen. As for me, I think this is going to be a tough one for the Dolphins. And as much as I would love to sit here and predict a Dolphins win, I'm going to need them to prove it to me before I can pick them. And so I think they're going to play tough. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think they're going to hang in there. They're going to play a very tough game. But I see the Dolphins ultimately falling just a little bit short here, probably to the tune of Carolina 23, Miami 20. And the Dolphins lose and all but officially be eliminated from playoff contention. But like I said, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully the Dolphins can come out on Sunday and get a big, big win, and the season will march on. And we got that game coming up against the Giants and the Jets, and then, as we've said, anything can happen. But first, let's go and try to take care of business on Sunday against the Panthers. So that's going to wrap us up for this special episode of the Same Old Dolphins Show. Again, make sure you're following us on Twitter at Amplified to Rock, at Aaron the Brain, at Same Old Dolphins. Please subscribe to the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, do a search for Dolphins Talk YouTube. You'll see us. Smash the subscribe button, like the video, turn on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time we go live. We appreciate it very much. Of course, we're on Facebook too, facebook.com/Same Old Dolphins. Give us a like over there. And last but not least, make sure you're visiting DolphinsTalk.com each and every day. It is your one-stop shop for all things Miami Dolphins, and we are going to have you covered over there for the rest of the season and into the offseason whenever it begins, because I anticipate there's going to be a lot happening in that period for your Miami Dolphins. But we're not there yet. We've still got some season to go, and we're going to enjoy it while we can. So again, thanks for watching and listening to the Same Old Dolphins Show. We will be back with our regularly scheduled live show, I believe, on Monday after the Panthers game. And then I think we'll pretty much be on our regular schedule for the rest of the season, knock on wood, so we believe. So we hope that you will join us on YouTube if you can join us live. If not, we will catch you on every episode in podcast form of the Same Old Dolphins Show on the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network. But until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and we will talk to you again next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Go Dolphins!